So here's a comparison between two versions of the AdventureWorks database, and I'm doing a schema compare using the SQL Server data tools installed in Visual Studio. I'm not using Management Studio, and this feature isn't available in Management Studio. And as a SQL developer, I'm sure you know of several reasons for doing a database comparison. For instance, maybe you're trying to check test results or produce a deployment script. This video is a demo of using that tool. So the requirements are that you have a version of Visual Studio that is 2012 or later with SQL Server data tools installed, which is primarily for business intelligence products, for instance, integration services. But I'm not going to show you how to install either of those things. So if you search for compare SQL Server databases, you'll find Microsoft documentation that explains that you need SQL Server data tools installed in Visual Studio, and if you follow a few other links, you'll see references to Redgate, which has a product that is very good and maybe even best. But the Microsoft tool is very good, so that's what I'm going to demo for you. And a good demo can be done using the AdventureWorks database because it comes in multiple versions. So I'm going to search for AdventureWorks, and if you follow a few links, you'll eventually end up in this GitHub repository called Microsoft SQL Server Samples. And from there you go to the Code tab and then Releases, and you'll see documentation on each of the releases. And if you scroll down far enough, you'll see this AdventureWorks sample databases. And the ones I'm interested in are the 2014 and 2016 versions. So I'm going to download those, and I want to restore these backups. So to figure out where to put these backups, I'm going to start restoring a database in Management Studio. And you know, Management Studio isn't required, but it's probably most familiar to you. So there's the location, and I'm going to open a second Windows Explorer window so that I can move those backups from the download folder into the backups folder. And now they're available to restore. Now that I've restored those two backups, I'm ready to do the demo of the comparison for you. From Visual Studio, if I start a new project, you'll see this business intelligence projects, and including the integration services project. And these are there because I've installed the SQL Server data tools. So let's make a SQL Server project, and you'll see from Solution Explorer that I've done nothing here. I've added nothing to it, and I'm not connected to any databases. But if I go to the Tools menu and then SQL Server, you'll see this data comparison and schema comparison. So I'm going to start with schema comparison and then connect to those two databases I just restored. So here are the same results we saw earlier, and if I click on some of these, you'll see the difference. And if I click on a change, it'll show you the before and after. And you can even generate a script that will perform these changes, or click this update to actually apply the changes. In this case, it would remove the catalog from the 2016 version so that it looks more like the 2014 version. All right, so let's do a data comparison, and the UI is similar except for it has a few more choices. I'm going to leave in the identical records just so I can see that count in the results. The second step lets me choose what it is that I want to compare, and I don't really care about the views. I'm just going to compare the tables. So data-wise, there's really not much of a difference between these two databases, but this is enough to make the point. And if I click on this first one here, you can see the one row that is different between the two databases. And once again, I can perform these updates. Plus, I can generate a script from the differences as well. Once again, if I'm going too fast, or there's something that you cannot recreate that I'm demonstrating here, or you have some good ideas for videos that I can make in the future, please leave a comment in YouTube. It would really help. Thanks again. Bye.